The name's Bond. James Bond.
The name that means excitement is back. Bond. James Bond.
Oh, feeling sad? Then get your happy pill. Watch Jason King. Hail to the king, baby.
Hot coffee, hot coffee. And speaking of which, folks, you know on this channel, I love myself some 007 because it's double D heaven for me.
Hi, I'm Plenty.
But of course you are.
Plenty O'Toole.
Named after your father, perhaps?
Would you like some help? On the craps, I mean.
It's very kind of you.
But someone sent me a link today regarding Henry Cavill's first ever and last audition, by the way, for the role of Bond, James Bond. And I'm really excited. I thought, is this AI? Is it somebody playing tricks on our eyes? But no, the Bond experience were given. I don't know how they got this actually. Unearthed footage, the long lost audition tape of Henry Cavill, who was beaten to the post of Bond by Daniel Craig. And I would say regretfully now, that was a very stupid decision. So without further ado, folks, let's get into this. I've not even watched the audition yet. I'm watching it cold, like some of you probably are as well. So without further ado, folks, let's do the do without Betty Boo.
Watch this space.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog
is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
No retreat, no surrender.
So here you go, Henry Cavill screen test as James Bond for Casino Royale in 2006. Now, what I'm going to say before I even roll the tape, he looks good with the long hair, actually. He was 23, by the way, 23 when he auditioned for the role. And I think how he looks there with the bit of stubble and the long hair, he looks, I mean, I'm not being bad or anything, but Henry's hairline back then was way better than what it is now. But let's get into this, folks. This should be rather good.
I hope your third is where your real talent lies.
One rises to meet the challenge.
Double.
Sweetie. Count.
5. 6. Bank loses.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
The very words I live by. So tell me, what are the words you live by?
The trick is to quit while you're ahead.
I never learned that trick. Perhaps you'll show me how it's done. Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. And you?
The same.
And how do you take it?
Straight up, with a twist. Thank you, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Senior on the top.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So they're actually reading from GoldenEye. I knew straight away I recognized the dialogue.
Madame loses.
The hatch. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Very words I live by.
That's pretty interesting. Now, what I will say is Henry does seem a little bit nervous during this audition. Of course, anybody would be. You're auditioning for 007, for Christ's sake. Anybody would be. I'm surprised he wasn't shitting his pants at this point. So his delivery of the line, Bond, James Bond, I guess he was trying to avoid doing an impersonation, but I think he should have just gone with his gut instinct and just deliver it in a slightly cheesy way, because I think a lot of people would have loved that, but let's carry on.
Thank you, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Then you're on the top.
On the top.
On the top.
Your accent. Georgian?
Very good, Mr. Bond. You have been to Russia?
Not recently. Used to drop in occasionally.
In and
shoot
out.
in and out.
Yeah, it's very different now. A land of opportunity.
Perhaps with a Ferrari in every garage.
Not quite. That belongs to a friend.
A tip for your friend. The French plates this year all begin with the letter L. Even the counterfeit ones.
And what rank do you hold in the motor vehicles department, Mr. Bond?
Commander.
Shall we go?
This one is an admiral.
I like women who enjoys pulling rank.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Bond.
The pleasure, I'm sure, was all mine.
It's interesting because I have to be brutally honest here about Henry Cavill and his audition. He's a little bit wooden. Now, he's 23 at the time. I get it. He would be nervous. I've been to interviews where I've absolutely tanked it as well. So I completely understand. He's a very good looking dude. And I think, because in case some of you don't know, Timothy Dalton, who is my favorite James Bond of all time, was offered the role as far back as 1969. So instead of George Lazenby, we could have had Timothy Dalton as 007, the youngest actor to have portrayed him at the time. But old Tim Dole turned it down because he said he felt he was too young to play a man who's worldwide and very experienced with the ways of life, and he felt he didn't quite meet that, which is a shame because it turned out the only two films he did were really, really fantastic. So perhaps they could have changed the course of history here. I think Barbara Broccoli should have taken a chance with Henry Cavill because, as we now know, with Daniel Craig, he was a very troublesome actor because, yes, he went in front of the camera, he gave it his all, but off screen, he really poo-pooed the role. He was kind of being like a Sean Connery Mark II, except with blonde hair, and he seemed to be very ungrateful for what the role gave to him and all the other doors and his back door that it opened up for. But Henry Cavill, had he been given this role, I think he could have still been playing Bond even by now, I reckon. And it's such a shame because he would have had a respect for the role, the people behind the scenes and everybody else. And it's such a shame that he was not afforded that chance. That's why he got the moniker, the most unluckiest man in Hollywood, because it's such a shame that he wasn't given this chance. And you've got these fan AI movies on YouTube. My favorite one is the cover of Henry as Bond and Margot Robbie as the Bond girl in an aeroplane. Looks really cool. And that concept would have worked with Margot Robbie at the time not being the pro-feminist that she is now with the roles that she picks and chooses. So again, dream casting. The fans always know better than the Hollywood execs out there. I'm sorry, but we do. And what a shame, but it's such a pleasure that we get to see this because I thought we would never ever... In fact, you know what? I'm just wondering, like, why have they chosen to release this? Because I don't think Henry's going to be cast as Bond. He's got too many other projects going on at the moment with Space Marine and obviously the Highlander movie. So I just think they're probably doing this because maybe next week or in a few weeks' time. No, I think next week, and I'm just spitballing here, folks. They might make an announcement in the media who the next 007 is going to be. And if it's the actor that I think it is, Aaron Taylor Johnson, give it to him, not the other moronic choices that the Hollywood Reporter have spoken about because they want a sensitive Bond. No, I want a Bond who drinks, womanizes, has the great one-liners, and then gets ready for the next mission. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of that audition from Henry Cavill? Were you shaken? Were you stirred? Or did, like many other women who watched this, purred? But on that one, I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
Straight up, with a twist. Thank you, Mr.
The name's Bond. James Bond.